Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a little special channel. Maybe I'll make this a series on my channel, but I'm going to be doing my makeup while talking about horror movies, specifically Friday the 13th, because it is Friday the 13th today. And today we had a day off from work. The schools are closed today in the county I work in because we had a snow makeup day planned for today, but it didn't really snow this year at all. So we have a makeup day today, and so we had a teacher student holiday, so I didn't have to go to work. Perfect. And it is Friday the 13th, so I can talk about one of my favorite horror movie series, which is Friday the 13th. And to celebrate the occasion, I also have my shirt that I just got, Camp Crystal Lake Counselor. Super duper cute. So today I will be talking about the entire franchise series and giving my ranking. And so if you love horror movies and makeup, stick around because I will be doing my makeup today as I'm talking about the movies and ranking them. I really enjoy watching both makeup videos and some creators on here that talk about horror movies. So some of my favorites are like Drum Dums and Cody Leach. Those two I watch like the most, but there's so many other horror-centric channels on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, stick around. If not, if you want to just stick around for the makeup, that's good too, because we're going to be trying a couple of products that are newish to me. Some new, some I've used maybe once, so still pretty new to me. So basically trying out some new products in this video as well. So if you're interested in that, just stick around. I'm going to start today with, I've already primed my face. Well, I haven't primed it. I have already prepped my face. So I've done wash and moisturizers and all that good stuff, serums, all that good stuff. And so now I'm going to go ahead and use my 4th Ray Acai face milk as a primer. I have dry skin, so I like to just pump in as much moisture and dewiness and glow before putting on foundation and whatnot. Okay. Now I like to let that sit a while, and I'll go ahead and do my eyes first. Let's go ahead and jump into the ranking. I'm going to start from the bottom for this franchise. The thing I really love about the Friday the 13th franchise is the movies are so varied. You have some that are pretty cool. You have some that are, yikes, you know, just not the best. But in all, I think the series as a whole entity is just really fun. You know, it's really fun to watch, enjoy with your family, scare yourself, you know. And some are certainly better than others. Give me 1 second, I need a mirror. I need mirrors for my palette because I can't find my mirror right now. If you hear dog barking, that is my dog outside barking for some reason. Probably sees an animal or hears the neighbor next door, and she has no self-control. Not at all. Sort of like her owner here with makeup. No self-control at all. Alright, let's get started for real. So, starting at the bottom of my list, there are 12 Friday the 13th movies we're going to be talking about, including the remake. I decided to go ahead and include the remake, even though I don't think it's technically a part of the original series. But we're going to include it in because it is Friday the 13th. It's Jason, and it's Friday the 13th. Let's go ahead and include it. So starting off at number 12 is Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. I think this was like number 10, I believe, within the whole Friday the 13th series. And for me, I don't know, I didn't really enjoy it. I mean, it doesn't even have Jason in it. let me go through my points. If you see me looking over, I have a notebook with some notes here to talk about as to why I ranked them this way. So starting with this one, no Jason for real. I mean, he's not even in the movie for real, except for like at the beginning, at the end. He's not even really in the movie. And the concept of this is that Jason's evil spirit is hopping from person to person. So interesting concept. I'm not saying it's not, but it just doesn't really work for me personally. I just like to see, you know, I don't know, maybe I like to see that consistent bad guy that's going after people. And it's not really here. You just sort of see random people that are kind of being and possessed by Jason. And so for me, it kind of doesn't work. Okay concept, but I just prefer other ones over this one. And, you know, I think it was ambitious of the writers, directors, all the people that were taking part of this, but for me, it just doesn't work. Give me a sec about that. Okay, as well as it not working for those reasons, I think, why do we have to, why do horror series have to add in some sort of family element for our villain? I mean, you see this in several series, and sometimes it's just not necessary. Like, why do we need to know that Jason had other family members? Like, what does that, I mean, and then, it just doesn't do it for me. And then the plot kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, they have to kill him specifically with a dagger, and it has to be someone in his family. I think this is supposed to be his sister. I forgot. I'm kind of hazy on it. I've only seen it like twice, but I do clearly remember it was like his family member. I think it was his sister or half sister, something. Somehow she was related to him, this girl, and she has to be the one to stab him with a dagger or something. The plot just doesn't work for me. The no Jason doesn't work for me. It does have some kind of funny parts, so we can do a positive here. Don't know if it was intentionally supposed to be funny in those parts, but it did have some parts that kind of made me like chuckle. But yeah, that one's number 12 for me. Let's move on. All right, I'm going to be using this palette from C Color Cosmetics. It is actually a dupe for the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette. I think that's what it's called. I don't own any Jeffree Star makeup. Just not my thing. Well, I mean, obviously, the color story is appealing to me. That's why I bought this. But I figured I'll just get the dupe from C Color Cosmetics, and I've tried them before, and their products are really good. And so I'm going for kind of a blue eye today, as well as I'm going to be using some of ColourPop's Villain collection. They're I believe discontinuing it because all of it's on sale right now. So I was like, I've been wanting it since I found out about it. And so I decided I'm just going to buy some things from this Villain collection because I've been wanting it. I know they've been out for a while, so I'm also going to be using some of the Villain collection from ColourPop, which this is the Jelly Much Shadow Just Your Voice. So it's coming from the Little Mermaid. And I thought it was fitting, since we're talking about Jason and Friday the 13th, to use some of this Villain's makeup from ColourPop. So we're going to start with the palette, though. I'm going to start my base here using this palette from C Color Cosmetics, dupe of the Jeffree Star palette, and it is called Blue Sky if you're interested, and it's quite a lot cheaper as well if you're looking for a dupe and you're wanting that palette. Here you go. Very cute, and it has this little plastic sheet with the name, so I can use this to tell you which shades I will be using. Alright, so I've already primed my lids. Let's get a brush to start. I will also be using my AOA color little, what is this called? Color brush cleaner, whatever. You just swirl your brush in after a color and it cleans it off. Alright, so, sorry, let's get to number 11, which is Jason Takes Manhattan. I was debating whether I would put Jason Takes Manhattan or Jason Goes to Hell last. For me, both of these movies, they just don't work. Okay, so Jason Takes Manhattan. First of all, it's just boring. It's boring. Like, so many, like, half the movie is just, it's not scary. It's just literally just boring. Like, and then it's supposed to be taking place in New York. It's not. It's not. More than half of the movie is on a boat going to Manhattan. What in the world? And I understand it's expensive to film in New York, blah, blah, blah. This is like I want to say this is number 9 in the series. Yeah, I think Jason Goes to Hell was 10. This is, no, what? Jason Goes to Hell is number 9. Jason Takes Manhattan, I believe, is number 8. And it just, I think the series was on its last little leg, and it just doesn't work. I mean, they're not even in New York for half the movie. They're on this boat, and that can be interesting within itself. Killing on a boat, it's a confined space. The danger is heightened. But it just wasn't, it just didn't have that Friday the 13th feel. You're on this boat, and the boat's not the main problem. It's the fact that it's just, parts of it are just really boring. I'm going in with this blue shade called Breeze. And I'm just going to blend into the crease area. But yeah, this movie, it just didn't do it for me. Kind of boring. It did have some okay, it had like one okay kill, which is that boxing one with like the only black guy in the movie. And he's like trying to box Jason, which, like, really, sir? Really, sir? Are you gonna really try to box with Jason like a zombie killer guy? But yeah, he's trying to like fight him, and he just tires himself out, and then Jason just takes one punch and clean knocks his head off. Kind of hilarious at the same time as it being a pretty cool kill within the series. And a lot of people mention that one as like in their top kills as well, because it's pretty cool. Pretty nice kill. As far as like the ending, and sorry, this video is going to have spoilers for this series. But the series has been out for how long? But you might not want to watch this one anyways. But for the ending, again, not making a whole lot of sense. We get Jason, first of all, they get in New York for like the last 10 minutes of the movie, 15 minutes of the movie, and New York looks dirty, terrible. They're displaying, the way they're displaying it, just cheesy, stereotypical New York stuff going on. And we get to New York, Jason's chasing them around New York. We get some okay scenes with that, blah, blah, blah. But at the end, they're in the sewer, and, like, this, like, toxic waste is about to come through. And they're running from Jason, blah, blah, blah. And they eventually are trying to get up and escape. And then the toxic waste is coming through and gets Jason, and he turns into a little boy? What? What is that? This is why this one is number 11. It just doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. On top of just being boring, the plot is not great. Let's move on to number 10 and also to my next color. I'm going to go ahead and go in with this color called Rocket. Let me show you. The first one I went in was Breeze right there. And then the next one I'm going into is called Rocket, and it is this blue color right here. Okay. Number 10, Jason X. Okay, this is the one. This is number, I think, 10 in the series, actually, as well as it being number 10 on my list. And this is the one where Jason is in space. Another thing horror series love to do is take their horror villain main character to space. We've seen it plenty of times. Hellraiser, Leprechaun, Friday the 13th. What is up with space? And space could be a cool concept if it was done correctly. And it just is not done to how it could have been. Looks, I mean, first of all, it looks kind of cheap. The sets, the wardrobe, costumes. It could have been better if they had a better sets and things and made it look more like it's really futuristic. And it's just not the best. The acting is kind of yikes. And I mean, you're not going to see amazing acting in any of these Friday the 13th movies, but certainly have some that are better than others. And this one for sure, acting is pretty bad from like the majority of the cast. And then these characters, some of them are interesting, but other ones are just kind of like throwaway characters, which you'll also see in a lot of horror movies. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't know, not very interesting characters, except for maybe like the main character, and we got to see kind of her motives, but everyone else is kind of like they were just fodder to be killed off. Other problems, let me look at my notes. Kills, they were okay. You know, not the worst, not the best. That kill that always stands out to me is the one where he puts the lady in like that, I don't even know what it's called, but it's like this ice bath or something, and her whole head freezes, and then he takes her out and just smashes her onto the counter. That one was pretty cool. But other than that, the kills weren't nothing spectacular, really, in my opinion. Another thing is Jason does look pretty cool as Cyber Jason once he gets like revamped and he gets like parts made over. That was pretty cool. I mean, it could have been really unstoppable, which he kind of was as Cyber Jason, but we don't get to see a lot of Cyber Jason. We just kind of see him sort of at the end, but he was pretty cool as Cyber Jason. I kind of like that. Now let's talk about the plot. Is there a plot? Kind of. Not a very good plot. And there's so many continuity errors in this too. Like the years are off. How did Jason become so famous all over the world in history? I mean, there's just some questions I have for that. And maybe I'm being too critical about it, but I don't know. I just think it could have been better. So that's why Jason X is number 10 for me. It's just okay. Alright, let's move on. Number 9, A New Beginning. Alright, so A New Beginning is not the worst, obviously, in the series. But again, it does not have Jason in it. And that's not a deal breaker necessarily for me, but it just, the way it was done, I don't think it works. And we do get all these red herrings, and is it Jason, is it not Jason? But the movie kind of tells on itself, like, very early on, who the killer is. It's kind of obvious, if you're paying attention, that you can guess who the killer is right away, like, at the beginning of the movie. So basically what this movie is we have Tommy Jarvis from part 4. He's come back, he's older, and this movie, New Beginning, is number 5 in the series. So this is right after 4, where we had first been introduced to Tommy Jarvis. So part 5, he's in, he's older, he's in this, like, he was in this psychiatric home or something like that. And now he's going to this group home for teens that are also all having psychiatric problems. They're, I don't know. And, you know, he's traumatized after part 4. And at the end of part 4, they almost made it look like he was going to be the new villain, but that never went anywhere. So we're kind of getting into this one, and it's kind of like, is Tommy the new Jason in this one? Well, it's clear that he is not. We can tell right away who the killer is. And if you watch this movie, you can tell right away, if you're paying attention, who the killer is. It's kind of obvious. So for me, it just didn't work really at all. No Jason, kind of obvious who the killer is. Tommy Jarvis is very strange acting in this one, versus part 4, and then totally different acting in part 6. I don't know. But I think the thing that works for this one is the fact that they did try to do something new, different. So I'll give them points for that. Acting was pretty bad. You got some of these characters that, what was the point? Like this lady and her son. Why are they in the movie? I don't know. But, you know, I guess it creates more interesting points. I'm not sure. And then at the end, you know, we get the reveal, which was obvious, that it was not Jason. And so Jason has no part in this, really. I mean, but it was okay. It wasn't terrible. There were a couple kills that were pretty good, like the one with the big old shears or hedge cutters, whatever you call them, across the eye with the girl. She's laying out, and all of a sudden, bam! Here comes the shears, and they get her eyes out. That was a pretty cool kill. But yeah, that's number 9, part 5, new beginning. All right, number 8. Okay, number 8 is going to be the new blood. I'm going to go ahead and open up. I love the Super Shocks from ColourPop. I think they're nice. I think they give the eye like this wet kind of look, and they're like this jelly texture. They can be maybe a little messy to work with, and they dry out really fast, at least in my experience. But I found some ways to revive them. If you have like a little some eye drops, you can put that in there. And someone also said just water, which I've done with one, and it worked well. So if they ever get dried out, you can revive them. But I'm going to be using this color, Just Your Voice, which is this beautiful blue color. Alright, so the new blood, part 8. Okay, here's why this one is a number... No, it's not part 8. It's part 7, but it's 8 on my list. Here's why it is 8 on my list. Okay, for me, I think the concept was okay. It's kind of like, okay, the concept is, or the plot is, we have this girl who has these telekinesis powers, and she can move things with her mind, all this different stuff. Okay, and she had this father that was abusive and ended up accidentally killing him or something like that. Okay, and when she's revisiting this camp area where her father died, she's just wishing for him to come back, and somehow her telekinesis actually brings Jason back. So this is after part 6, where Jason was put into the lake, and now this girl is pulling him out of the lake with her telekinesis. And so the concept is kind of almost like a Carrie versus Jason. That's what I'm getting from this. Okay, we got this Carrie type character, telekinesis. Oh, she's so wounded and all this different stuff. She's never had a good life, and she's with her mom and her doctor at this rural camp area near Crystal Lake, I believe. And yeah, the doctor is actually trying to use her for his studies or whatever, with the facade that he's trying to help her with her mental issues or whatever. But he's actually trying to use her telekinesis to get rich or famous or something. I don't know. Plot is, again, yeah, as you can see with this plot, is it there? It's there. It's there. It's just, it's kind of all over the place. I'm going to just put this on with my finger. Ooh. That is glittery. Sorry if the light is too bright. I'm trying to work on lighting. Yeah, so I just put that over that what I already had to give sort of a monochromatic blue look. Alright, so what I like about this part 7, the New Blood, is the concept is interesting. I've always loved Carrie, the Stephen King character. So to kind of put a character similar to her in a Friday the 13th, I think is interesting. You know, I can work with that. So it is kind of an interesting concept. Was it done the best? That's up for debate, okay? I think it was an interesting concept. Acting, again, yikes, just not the best. Not every single character is terrible. Okay, along with our character, we have a group of teenagers, of course, coming out to this rural area to party, camp, drink, whatever, and they're basically fodder. We get some stereotypical character types. We got the bully girl, the mean girl. We've got, you know, the kids that just want to drink, get high, have sex. I mean, the typical characters that you're going to see in a Friday the 13th movie. And they're getting picked off by Jason, who has been reanimated, brought back to the surface by this character. Okay, so the good points are the concept. The bad points is it was not executed to the best that it could have been. That's my viewpoint on it. Acting element, yeah, but pretty much that's what I think of it. Kills were also kind of you know. You get a couple good ones, like when the psychiatrist dies. That one was pretty cool in the forest. But otherwise, yeah, could have been better, but the concept was interesting. And then the main girl also, I'm gonna mention this before I move on, not very super likable in my opinion. She's kind of whiny. So yeah, that's it. That's my viewpoint on that one. Number 7 is the Friday the 13th remake. Let me explain why. For this one, I do enjoy the remake. I don't think it's as bad as some people were making it out to be. I actually liked Jason in this one. I thought he was pretty, like, badass. Pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Vicious, cool, like a hunter. Now, there are some parts with that. There's a flip side to that. Like, it's cool that he's got, like, all this stuff, and, like, he's, like, hunting people, but at the same time, it's also, like, Jason has all of this stuff set up. Where is he getting electricity and all this hunting material and keeping up with all of this? And he's got a whole underground, I mean, that explains why he pops up everywhere if he's got underground stuff everywhere. But at the same time, it does start to be a little unbelievable. But I enjoyed this remake. I don't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. I think the portrayal of Jason was good. I like the beginning. The beginning was pretty strong. I almost think the beginning was kind of stronger than the rest of the movie. But I like the beginning. It was like shocking. It was cool. We got the backstory too at the beginning with his mom, but we get straight into Jason. So I really like this remake. I think the actors did pretty well. There were some very annoying characters, Trent specifically, but overall I think the movie was I think it was good. So from here on out, like 7 up, these are pretty enjoyable. I mean, New Blood was pretty enjoyable too. New Beginning, okay. So, but like from 7 on up, I like these ones. I don't think they're like terrible. So the remake, I liked it. I think it has some good points. I like the concept of them being near the camp. Well, this is kind of every Friday the 13th. They're being near the camp, and this kind of Jason just hunting down people. I mean, it's not new at all, but I like the way they presented it here. Like this kind of richer guy with this nicer big old house and just trying to have a weekend away, and they get killed by Jason. They run into Crystal Lake, and that's their fate. I do enjoy some of the kills. I think they were pretty good. I think it does give you a couple of scares. Um, yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this one. I think it was pretty good. Could it have been better? Yes. Yes, it could have. And that's why it is number 7 on this list. Alright, number 6 is actually part 6, Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives. So in this one, we see a return of Tommy Jarvis again from parts 4 and parts 5. And we have a new actor playing him in this one as well. And I like this portrayal kind of a Tommy Jarvis. This one is kind of funny in a way. This part, I think, not in a way, it is funny. This was funny. I mean, it's horror, almost like a mixture horror comedy film. And it works. It works pretty well. I like the concept of it. Tommy is trying to destroy Jason forever. He digs up his grave and accidentally brings Jason back to life. Now, the logistics of that, very far-fetched. But again, we're in horror movie land. Jason comes back. He gets reanimated by lightning in a pole. Put that aside. I still think this is a pretty good installment. Part 6 is pretty good. It's pretty funny. We actually, in this one, get to see children coming to a camp. Who would have thought a Friday the 13th movie with kids at a camp? Because it's a kid. It's camp for kids. So we actually get to see children in this one, which I like that element as well, because we don't ever get to see Jason actually interact with kids, and we do see that briefly in this one. I think it was I like the characters in this one as well. The characters are pretty cool for this part. I like Tommy in this. We get some funny parts. We get some blood. We get the gore. I enjoyed this one. Yeah. I think that overall, it makes a good installment. And it kind of wraps up that Tommy Jarvis parts or era of the Friday the 13th. It wraps it up pretty nicely. And they eventually, defeat Jason at the end by putting him back into the lake. So I enjoyed this one. I thought it was pretty good. I do wish we would have seen Tommy's sister again in one of these. Trish, she just disappeared after part 4. Did she die? I don't remember. But I wish we would have seen what kind of happened with Trish as well. But I think it wrapped up the Tommy Jarvis plot line pretty well. I think it was pretty good. Alright, number 5. Alright, let me move on to face though, because I've been sitting here just chatting. I'm going to use one of my Shop Miss A little sponges that has this kind of chiseled part to put on my makeup. Actually, do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? I might do a brush first and then go over with the sponge. So I'm going to get a brush first. I'm going to use my Sephora Pro Press Full Coverage Complexion 66. I didn't know if I want to go to full coverage, but that's what we're going to do. I'm going to blend in with a brush and then go over with the sponge. I saw online some makeup artists said that this is a good way to do is to blend in the skin with the brush and then go over with the sponge to get the finish. Because I like the finish of a sponge better, but I think it doesn't really press the makeup into the skin, which the brush can do. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the brush first, and then I'm going to go over with the sponge. And I'm using the Wet n Wild Focus Foundation in the Dewy, and I am medium deep caramel. So, alright, so part 6 was number 6. Number 5 is Freddy versus Jason. Now, I don't know if you want to... Is this counted as a... I'm counting it as part of the series. I am. Because we do get Jason in here, but we also get Freddy. I love Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger is like one of my favorite horror movie villains. He's freaking hilarious. But he's also extremely scary. I mean, the concept of him. So to see him with Jason, who's also a favorite, and just, you know, scary, this unstoppable zombie-like force, perfect combination for me. So that's why that one's number 5. I think that, of course, it could have been better. Yes. Yes, of course. You know, after waiting, you know, so many fans waited so long for that. And I was actually young, or a lot younger, when that came out. You know, a kid, basically. And a kid. But, so I didn't really have the same knowledge of it or hype of it as maybe other people. But just in general, I love both these characters. So for me, it was cool to see them in the movie. But I don't think I had the same build up as other people, because I just didn't know about it. But after seeing the movie, you know, so many times, I really enjoy this one. I think it's a good, you know, showdown between Freddy and Jason. Jason could have been better in this. Yes. Yes. So as a Jason film, I do think that it could have been showing Jason a little better. As a Freddy film, I think Freddy shines in this a lot more than Jason. Jason's almost like this zombie, no character. I mean, he is zombie-like anyways, but you get what I'm saying. But I think Jason gets a lot of good kills in this, and he does get most of the kills in this movie, as opposed to Freddy. Freddy doesn't get that many kills at all. I don't think Freddy kills many people at all in this. Maybe like 1 or 2. I'm just taking the rest of the foundation off of here. Barely nothing. I'm going to add a little more, and I'm going to go over with the sponge now. So for me, I really enjoyed this one. I think the showdown between Freddy and Jason was awesome. I think as a Friday and as a nightmare film, it works. It's good. And that's why it's number 5 for me. It's just epic. It's just epic. People were waiting for this showdown. We see it. We got it. And it works. And there were some pretty cool kills too. Like the bed fold kill. Like, cool. I mean, yeah. So that's why that one is number 5. Okay. Now we're getting into the top 4, which have a little more notes here. Part 4 is number 4 for me. Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. Let me say why. Number 1, I did like some of the characters in this one a little bit more. I think we got a little bit more elements from the characters in this. For example, we have Tommy Jarvis. Very interesting character, in my opinion. And added something new to the series with a kid. And like I said, with Part 6, we actually have never seen any kids at the camp. We did see Tommy Jarvis, although he wasn't a kid at a camp. He was a kid that just lived, you know, in this area with his mom and sister. But I just really enjoyed seeing the kid element here. Tommy Jarvis' character was interesting, you know. He's relatable in a way. And I liked his sister. I liked the character of Trish. I liked the character, I liked Jason in this one also. He was pretty scary. The betrayal was pretty good. I like this one. I think that as a part 4, to bring in some new elements of, you know, can we have another Jason scenario with Tommy? And that's kind of what they ended with him kind of crazily, you know, chopping up Jason. I think that's a cool element to add into the movie, although it never really went anywhere. I liked it. I think it was a good element to add in. We did have some kind of teen fodder characters in this, of course. I think they're kind of actually hilarious, especially the dancing one. Funny. But I really like this movie. I think it's good. It's a great installment in 2. So it is number 4 on my list. It's a classic. It's a classic. Very good. Yeah. Alright. Number 3 is Part 3. Okay? So this one we have Chris as our main character. I think she's a pretty good final girl. I like her as a final girl. I think she's one of the best final girls in the series. And she's played by Donna Kimwell. I think that's how you say that. Donna Kimwell. And I think she did a pretty good job. We do get some backstory for her, which for me works but also doesn't work. But I think it adds, again, interesting elements to it and actually gives us something to kind of hold on to with the character. We do see a lot of different scenes. We see very 80s like music and elements, like with the bikers and stuff. It kind of funny in a way, unintentionally. I like this movie though. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a classic 80s horror. I think Richard Brooker, who did Jason, did a really good job in this one. It was scary, and he was like all big and hulky, like awesome. And they kept going to this dang barn throughout the movie. The barn was like the main hotspot. I'm like, what is going on with this barn? I am using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer right now for the under eyes. First I'm going to get some of this glitter. I have so much glitter all out. Let me do that first. I use a trick of tape and just sort of stick it under there to get the glitter from off. For me, this one, part 3, was really good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters. Chris was cool. I enjoyed, oh Lord, just many elements of this. I enjoyed Jason in here. There were some characters that could be annoying. I believe this is the one with Shelly. Oh my goodness. So super annoying. Shelly was super annoying. But also, I think he had some good character development. Like, at the same time as being annoying as hell, he kind of had some character development. Kind of trying to like himself in a way. But yeah, he was pretty annoying. He was annoying as shit. Annoying as heck. Annoying as heck. Alright, so anything else about part 3? Oop. Yeah, I think part 3 was really good, actually. The bikers, also in part 3, kind of hilarious. Over the top. Just over the top. That's the only thing I can say about that. I'm going to do a trick I got from Robert Walsh. Just 2 dots and then kind of blend that out first and then go back and add on if you need more coverage. Like, you don't need excessive amounts of concealer to actually have a full coverage, nice coverage, and not look cakey as well. This will help you not look cakey. Okay, so part 3 is number 3. Number 2 is not part 2, actually. It is part 1, Friday the 13th, the original, which means that part 2 is my number 1. But let me stop there and I'm gonna get ahead of myself. Part 1 is number 2 for me, and it's this high because it is a classic. It started it off, this Friday the 13th series, and it was a classic. It just did what a lot of other movies couldn't do. Now, albeit it was coming from, you know, the hype of Halloween and trying to follow up on that hype by making, you know, a low budget kind of movie, slasher, you know, nobody's not denying that. But I have to say, I think Friday the 13th is just a really good movie. It's a classic. You have Jason's mother starting this one off. Awesome to have a female killer who somehow has killed all of these campers, including the men. Which is not to say that a female killer can't kill a man. That's not what I'm saying. But I like the fact that we have Jason's mom as the killer in this. It's just unexpected. You're not expecting it. I'm sure, you know, back in that time when it came out, it was just a good little ending to have the mom being the killer. Now, is Pamela Voorhees as scary as Jason? No. But it is scary, the concept of, you know, a deranged, kind of upset driven mad mother taking revenge. So I enjoyed this one a lot. I think it's really good. It still ranks really high for me. I liked that it works, even though it's kind of dated. It still works. You know, there are elements that are pretty dated and pretty like, ooh, yikes, questionable. But for me, it works. It works. It's a classic. That's why it is high up on my list. Alright, and then number 1 for me of the Friday the 13th series is part 2. Okay, Friday the 13th part 2. This one for me is number 2 because, number 1, sorry. Excuse me. It is number 1 because I just think it introduces Jason as this villain, and it does a really pretty good job of it. Now, we do have Sackhead Jason in this one. I don't have a problem with Sackhead Jason. It does look a little silly sometimes, but that's not a problem for me. We do get Jason also kind of fumbling around and stuff. But overall, it introduces this killer, this just bloodthirsty, and we do get some other elements into it as well, like he's cares about mom. You know, he's got his mom altar set up, and he sees Jenny as his mother, and we get this other piece to it, like Jason does have some connection to people overall, and it's not just a faceless zombie killer as in some of the other ones. I loved Jenny. I think she was a good final girl, played by Amy Still. And I liked our Jason in this, even though he wasn't as intimidating as some of the other Jasons, which can be a negative. He did pretty well. I liked it. I think the part 2 just does a good job with better characters than part 1, more fleshed out, better final girl, and we do get to see the introduction of Jason. So that's why part 2 is my number 1 for the Friday the 13th series. And overall, I think it deserves to be there. I think they did a good job with it, pretty much. And I do like that we have not only a final girl here, but we have a final guy here as well. And the element of her transforming her, not transforming, but like becoming Jason's mother in order to stop him, interesting. I think this one's pretty good overall. And I think in the grand scheme of all of the movies, this one ranks the highest for me personally. And it's just a good movie. It's good. I like the kills in here too. The wheelchair kill. Oh my goodness. Like him just getting chopped in the head, falling down the stairs. Pretty cool kill, if you ask me. So I love this. I like this movie a lot. I enjoy it. And overall, I really enjoy the entire series. Excuse me. Alright, so now I'm doing blush with this Can Make Cream Cheek. I actually got this off Amazon. I wanted to just try. I just ordered a bunch of cream blushes off Amazon. And I wanted to try this. This is not the brush I'm looking for. I'm looking for my brush stippling brush that I do my cream. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I'm just going to blend this into the cheek. I've only worn this one other time, and it has a pretty like sheen to the cheek, as well as it being a cute color. You do I do have to build it up a bit. I'm gonna put a little bit more on each side, and then pat it in with my finger and then blend it up. Alright, so overall, the Friday the 13th series is an awesome one. I mean, you can't deny it. They took low budget, you know, these low budget films and made so much money off of them, and the whole concept in general. I would love to see more Friday the 13th movies in the future. If we do, I don't know if we will. And I don't think, I mean, I would like to see some of the characters from the remake again. that survived, and also the guy that played Jason. I think he did pretty well. He did pretty good to me. Alright, so let me know what are your favorite parts in this movie series. How would you rank them down below? Would you agree with me on some of these? Or disagree? Please do. I'm going to finish up my makeup really quickly, and then you might see me in this shirt again in other videos. So I have other videos to do with this as well. Alright, right now I'm going to do a little bit of some bronzer with the butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. Oh, I just love that smell. It is in Sunkissed Bronzer. I think that's the name. I'm not going to go crazy with it. I'm just going to kind of use it to blend in, warm up, and also blend in some of the blush. And I'm just using I think this is, I don't even know what this brush is called. Alright. I would love to see another Jason movie within the next couple years. If it's done right. You know, we don't need to overdo it as well. I don't think we need to overdo it. You know? Not necessary. Alright, that's all of my review. I did not finish all of my makeup. I think I got talking too much about this movie, which I just love the movie. But I think I'm gonna finish up my lower lash line, eyebrows, and lip, and you'll probably see me in another video with the same look and shirt, because I'm not done today. I've also got some products I bought that I want to do like a little video, a haul for, and possibly some other stuff. So thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you. Just a word of love and encouragement before you go. You know, just be you. You know, I'm a Christian girl that loves horror movies. That's pretty, it's not unique, I'm pretty sure, but sometimes I wonder the ramifications of me watching these movies. But I love horror movies, and I love Friday the 13th. I hope you enjoyed this kind of ranking review. I just really enjoy these movies. I think they're fun to watch. They're fun to get scared. Some of them are scarier than others, obviously. And tell me your ranking below. Would you rank them the same way I did, or would you rank them differently? Or if you want to know more about any of these products I used in the video, such as this C Color Cosmetics Jeffree Star dupe, actually pretty nice. I think I only used it one other time besides today. Shadows blend beautifully, pretty good. I haven't used all the shadows in here, obviously, but the Jelly Mud shadows, they're awesome. This I've used more than once, like quite a few times. I've been testing it out. Really love this Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation. This I've used quite a few times as well. Nice. And the butter bronzer, and I've used a lot. This is my second time using this. It's pretty. Makeup is looking a little crazy today. But anyways, thank you for enjoying this. I might make this a series and talk about some other scary movies as well. If you guys are interested in scary movies and makeup mixed together, please come on back. And thank you for watching this video. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up and a like, or give it a thumbs up, which is a like, and subscribe, because, you know, more interesting content to come, okay? So, thank you, and that's the end.